So in this video I would like to introduce you to the stress principle, alright? But just before I unpack this and explain what it is, and it's actually quite simple, I do promise, I'm going to ask you a question, alright? Have you ever felt stressed about anything at all in life when you've had plenty of time? Alright, consider a work-related concern or project, a problem, or something like that. So you're given a task to do, and you're given plenty of time. How stressed do you feel? Alright, so you have to write a report. You know it's going to take you, 1 day to do, but you're given 3 days. So how much pressure do you feel? The answer is none, do you? You feel no pressure whatsoever. Or you're at school, you've got an assignment that's due in on Friday, and today's Monday, and you know it's going to take you 2 weeks to do this thing justice. So now you're out of time, and how do you feel? Stress, panic, because you're running out of time. Well, the stress principle, alright, is this. Stress equals time plus limited space. Alright, take a few seconds to ponder over that one, and let me show you what I mean. Alright, when it comes to any given situation or circumstance in life, alright, there's always going to be an allotted time for the task, or for the project, or for the situation, or for the circumstance. And what I'm saying here is, when we have plenty of time to do something, to accomplish something, we have no problem whatsoever. Hence the reason you have very, very few stressed children. You only get stressed adults, don't you? Space though, alright? Okay, the question I would like to ask you here is, have you ever been guilty of having a very busy mind, alright? You see, if I was to ask you to stop right now and just let your mind go empty, what you might notice is that as you stop thinking about stuff, or as you think about nothing, there's no stress. So you see, space actually has everything to do with your mental availability. Alright, now just to give you another example here, have you ever been in a conversation with someone where it's felt stressful, a stressful conversation? And if you think about it, many people enter conversations that aren't really conversations. It's just where one person talks at the other, and then the other person talks at the other, and the aim of the conversion isn't about two people understanding or listening to or hearing each other. It's actually both parties just wanting to be heard and get their point across. So if you've ever had a conversation in the past, alright, think back to the most recent conversation you've had with someone. Many people in life are guilty of thinking about what it is that they're going to say next whilst the other person's speaking, which means that they're not listening. And if you think about it, when we have busy minds and we're thinking, what happens? Well, we're feeling busy, we're feeling on the go, we're feeling like there's a lot of stuff going on, and we're thinking about stuff. And what I'm saying here is that when we stop thinking, stress disappears. There is no stress outside of thought. We can only ever feel stressed when we're thinking about stuff. So we can only ever feel stressed when we're thinking about stuff, which means there is no stress outside of thought, and there's also no stress to be found outside of time. If you're given all the time in the world to accomplish or complete a task, there's going to be no stress whatsoever. So what we're saying here is that stress equals time plus limited space. Time plus limited space equals stress. And see how this works, alright? You're given a task here and you have plenty of time. But out here, or over here, you're going to be out of time. So as you start progressing forward, the stress levels start rising. And as the stress levels start rising, what happens? You think more about how it is you're running out of time, and here we go. We eventually end up popping like that balloon that we talked about early on, because we're so full of tension and stress and panic. So all I really want to introduce you to here is an idea, and everything else that we're going to be unpacking and exploring throughout the rest of the course is kind of going to be given reference to this principle. So don't worry if you don't fully understand it, or if it doesn't fully make sense at this point, because by the end of the course we're going to have completely nailed this, so that moving forward for the rest of your life, you're actually going to have a strategy for stepping out of stress the very second that you step into it. Wouldn't that be cool?